So this unique value, right? You are passing the username based in this username only. It will try to create a user in your Saviynt, because this is your unique attribute. And these are. They will be passing stealing, like what else information I can pass. Suppose I do not want to pass. Sorry, I do not want to create. Pass the system username or email. It should auto-generate the email. So you can mention, we have to make this generate email as true. Okay, so that it will automatically create it. So we'll come to the next thing. Like how we can create email ID, so after the entire time. For now I'll show you how we are going to perform this thing. Even this 0-day provisioning also right, we'll talk about this. Okay, this is not still yet discussed. We are just, integrating our first application. So once that is over right, I will come to this part. One by one. Okay. So this is like we talk about. Like we have our database created. Sorry, our application name and point name and entitlement type and that in value flow, which are, we keep an internal ID. We give so glossary, we can again pass the same name. What is the entitlement value? Okay. So these are the same name. It's a different, so I understand. But why will it be there? And that we are creating in our custom DB. Come again, please. Why will it be there on target, as we are creating a custom DB database? Okay, so this is just in order to simulate an application, right? Because in the real life, if you want to integrate a real application right, you should have an access to application right. So I showed you this database also, right? For a custom DB. You can integrate it and it has a purpose. Because in the real time also this is nothing. But, like software SAP connection save into Saviynt connection also, it will be there. What does it mean? Sometime you required, to create directly some information in your user table. In the Saviynt right. You will in the real time. You should have some tasks to create some directly record in the user table. So that time how you will perform that. Okay, and in the real time also, you will have a database. Integration will be there. So some company, they might have legacy application or legacy database. So if you talk like, we are now integrating this HR database as a database, but if you join any company where you are, working as a Saviynt engineer, you will have to integrate a number of application. That is, that is why they're hiring you. So might be it is a ad or a database application or, like it is a REST-based application, right? This REST-based application. It will come to picture right. So many more application is there, so I have seen some of the database application that I have already integrated. The name is P3MS. Austria is a different database. If you search it, Austria is rice. So I was saving to save into Saviynt to save, and you also required to integrate this data. Why? If you want to perform some action on your own database, right, it will allow you to create a connection. So that is also there and talking about like a REST-based application. You have Adobe application. You can integrate you up your Nobility application. You have your GitHub application. You have your what else like a workforce meta right and your service now. So we'll look into service now as well. Okay, in the upcoming class I will give you some reason because I have created a dummy application and I can show you. So your question is like, why we are integrating database application, right? So database application we required, we integrating it. So, as I showed you right, so the database in position, we implemented in it to different way. So that is why I think you are confusing. We integrated first as a trusted source, trusted resource or trusted source or user import. Right where all this user, whatever we had, we are bringing back to save it. Right. So this is it. One part. Okay, if you don't consider this part, second part, what we are trying to achieve. We have number of user in Saviynt, number of user. We have Saviynt and those user we are trying to provision to our target application. So here our target is database. Right. If you talk about like integrating a real-time application so that real-time application you will have a cost factor and you cannot get a real-time application right unless you purchase it. Okay, and that purchasing means if you write, let's say, Azure AD, you have right. If you want to integrate it first, right. That means this Azure AD will have a license cost. That license cost will be in lakhs, right, like 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs. They will be charging if you want to use their application just for your, company purpose, or this is for authentication purpose. You are using Azure AD and if you are using this side as you ready, you will have users here right who are in implementing or using this application. And if you want to integrate with our Saviynt right. Why this integration is required? We talked about the life cycle, right? We want to manage this Azure AD so that nothing would happen in here manual once all this legacy user, we bring back to our Saviynt through a target reconciliation. Or we called it as a non-authority source to the non-authority resource. We bring back this information to your Saviynt. Once the users are here, we are managing this application right. And if you wanted to manage this application, you should purchase this application first. And you cannot directly go ahead and purchase this right any application. You should have a company license and corporate account. So you should have right. So there is a nuance for the company. So company always, they purchase applications for a reason. Right if you unless you don't have any requirement. They don't that and we, as we do not have any. License application first. We are using this database. Okay, so database. I know you have a little bit confusion, but once we come back to your Active Directory all your doubt will get clear. Okay, so Active Directory in the next class, because I'll be showing you next how you are going to manage Active Directory application the real time. So that application will have a real-time view. How they're integrating Active Directory and why it is not database. There is a difference, right? Why people mostly prefer going to Active Directory instead of database. So that information we'll see. Okay, so that was your question, right? Why we are using database, right? Yes. Yeah, so this is just for our demo class purpose. I'll show you, but in real time. Also, they will ask you to integrate a database application. So let me tell you what is the exact requirement you will receive. Okay, so you joined a company. Let's say, okay, I'm giving you a real-life example. Suppose you joined Accenture. Okay, once you join under it, you are assigned to a project called ZFS. Okay, this ZFS project. They have the real. I'm telling you, okay, this ZFS project, they are using Saviynt. Okay. And here they already have integrated your user report, that is. They're using here SAP. SAP all the user, whatever they have, like 20K or 30K user. These are already brought back, to Saviynt and newly also user are getting added right, 1, 2, 3 user also coming to Saviynt through a user import. And this system is already there and this Saviynt is integrated to many more application already. Let's say, Active Directory is already integrated. Your LDAP is integrated. Your, some of the REST-based application is also integrated. You have Gmail also integrated. Now, when you join the company, they will give a task. First, we have a target application. The target application name is like an ostrich. And it is a database application. So you have to integrate this application, okay. So when they told you to integrate application, what you have to do first, you have to, go to the business analyst. This business analyst and you have to connect with the ostrich team. They will tell you what is their requirement. So you will be asking what is your total user base. Let's say they told we have 20K user total. And what action we required. Right, we require the action, whatever user we have, let's say 20K user. This user first. It should be onboarded to Saviynt, right? This would come to Saviynt and you should involve the operation. Whenever any user information is getting changed, that should capture right. Saviynt. So Saviynt should send the update. Okay. Now. Saviynt will update the user. And some new user who are onboarding, that also will get created in Saviynt. Okay. So create user also will happen and revoke user also happen. If the somebody is leaving the organization, so they should also remove from the organization. So these are some of the operation you should perform. So one thing you can remember here, just imagine if Saviynt is not there. Okay. And this is all your target application. And this hostage also. It is a target application. How the user are getting created here. It is manually right. But when they are getting created. That is the most important question. Once your user through Accenture, somebody join and they are onboarded to your. This SAP system right. The user got created here. Let's say, this username is ABC. He got created in Saviynt or HR uploaded this user in the same time. HR will also should contact right. This application team. Right. And this application team to create their account here. So this Austrian team would have created this user ABC here directly. And in LDAP also, this ABC user would have created directly in all this application by the admin guy. So this user is created, ABC in his performance task. Let's say, the user right got married and this user's surname got changed. So now she will have, like different surname. Okay, and she will inform the SAP HR system was I want to change my surname. So what will happen? Saviynt, this SAP guy will update their surname here. Okay, some do, some else new value and they will also inform. Right. To this target application right, they will also update it here. Okay. Now, as we have our Saviynt in picture, what will happen if this ABC person first name it getting changed right? Or last name is getting changed through this user, import her ABC last name. We'll update here. Okay. Last name will have new value. Okay. And as we have integrated this ABC, this hostage database also, we should expect the last name also should flow here. Okay. And that is called a update user task or update task. Okay, update account task. So this update account task also should get updated here. Okay. And that is called a, update user or update account task. Create account task. Write and then create, modify and revoke account task. If suppose ABC leave the company user right. So what should happen? So see, SAP systems would mark it as a terminated. Right. And immediately when the user of import job will run the user ABC, it will get terminated here immediately. And after that this ABC termination infant also should travel to this application and they should also be terminated here. Okay. Now you got it. Yes, my nose. Okay. So that is the whole scenario, right? How the saving is working. So now, as I say it right here, if you imagine this is your hostage database, you have created this hostage ABC user. Right, so you created this account in ABC here, or the user, because this was a called user. Once it bring back your this user information, it is called account. Account alone cannot perform anything. So account will give it access or a key to open this door. Right. You are entering here, but what action you should perform? That should be, you should give an entitlement. Right, that entitlement it is called. Like you have different department here, HR and your manager. What operation you are performing here? You should have an entitlement. So if you assume in the real time, if this is your home right. You have separate room here and all are locked. Okay. Or a lock. If you want to enter this house, first you to open the door. And this opening door it is nothing world called, it is a account. And if you need access to any of this room, you start a habit, different key for each room. Right. This key will have a different. This key will be different in this game. And this key in nothing, but it is called as an entitlement for you. So if you carry a account and entitlement, then only you can access the room. So your purpose is to access this room. So to access this room first, you should open a door to this house, right? Then only you will get access to this one. The same way here. Your purpose is to get access as a HR person, but this HR person access it is residing in your ostrich database. So first access this HR person entitlement. You should get access to this ostrich application. This ostrich application access mean your account should get created first here. Then only you will get this access. So you need to information first write account. Plus access. Right. Then you will be will get access to this. So we inserted a record here in our database for entitlement input. Right. This description I'm going to mention here. Is access is given to perform. Low HR task. I inserted a record. So same way I'll be answering another record. So I first mentioned my database. Sorry, my application name then mentioned the endpoint name and what is the entitlement type. We had another entitlement type. Floor manager right. Or manager it is. Okay. So entitlement is manager entitlement. Value it should be. I'll like you know. Project manager. I'll say okay. And this has a different entitlement, is 79.98. Okay, and same glossary value we have to give. And I'll mention here this access is given to manage. Access now. Okay. I created two entitlement here. Let's update it. So we got a right inserting into. This access is great. Insert into. What is there? I didn't. Okay. I didn't keep auto increment. I believe that is why it is training. Identity import right. So I should go to here. This would be auto increment. Right. Okay. Now, if you select the value, I think still it will throw error or it happen. Okay. 1 to automatically happen. Okay. Now. This data is set. Let's meet. Let's just. Face the value. Okay, these are the value. So our entitlement input has to record. Now let's import this record. To our. Right. Well, save it so that we can manage this entitlement. So come back here. Now. Go to the hard caps. So we have to prepare our entitlement value, import, JSON, and we have to paste it here. So this is your entitlement value. JSON, we have prepared right application name and one name entitlement. And then in value and I'll find a closet and description. We have given. So from which table this information are coming? Our table name is entitlement and this for import. Copy this table name and paste it here. So select application name and point name. Entitlement type. Entitlement value. Entitlement ID. Okay, so here there is a break. Glossary. So we don't have data owner. Okay. Remove this. Socks. Critical is not there. Okay, this value is not there, okay. So we don't have. And description. We have right. From entitlement import. So copy this information right. So before mapper and database, so same, it is under right. Okay. Copy this entitlement input value. It closes it. No. And I'll find import is done. Let's run a job for this. Okay. Go to Job Control Panel. Refresh this database. Okay, or if it's this URL one more time and go to your Job Control Panel, same as right, and click your database. And here you have entitled import from database. Click on this. Okay, we don't have any job, okay, so I had a new job. I'll give ent_import. Submit it. Click here. Click the action started. And what does your connection name? Database connection CF. Okay. Okay, before submitting that, let me open the log as well. So this is your application. Now keep it ready. And run the job. Okay, I didn't run any job. If you go down, let's see what happened. It got failed. Okay. We ran it. It failed. It's in table. JDBC app_users doesn't exit. Why it is referring the database app that user. I'm giving the connection. Did I save the connection? It is safe. Okay. And it should be update. So, as for the document, if you want to open the full configuring access, it would. Okay. Let's see where they're giving the value. So these are the already done right. And. We should give it under entitlement import only. And tell him, well, you input payment to him. Map up to the target is a tool for the importing access. Directly under. Okay, directly, so we can give it, but we are in the target, leveraging from the UI itself. And. Okay. Okay. And it is created under OK. OK. Let me submit the job again. OK, it is taking some default value, I believe. I think you are using different connections. There you imported in database connection. 123 here. You are running in database connection. Okay, it was already open. So again, I am being a mistake. Yeah, correct. So you cast the point. That's good. So we are leveraging here actually right. Database running. See it. Yeah. And again I will have seen anything happen. That is right. You have to go to the connection again back open. That is, I believe, your connection. Right. Let me put it here. And then value input. And save it. Okay. Let me just verify the security system. Also one more time. So this is your security system, right? And our access workflow is there. What are these connections? Is there provisioning connection? Okay. I think it should give a fine result. Let's do X and start. Data is connected. X and data is running. Submit it now. Okay. So let's just run and we'll see. Okay, let me grab the log. Okay. And. Scroll down. Okay. Go to the bottom part. Okay. Now here. You saw quads and a score scheduler worker 6. So scroll down where it started. Okay. Entitlement value, input job start. Okay. Entitlement, input value, connection name it is giving. Okay, it's selling. The connection is created. And what file it is selected. Okay. And if you scroll down, it is link and then values inserted or updated to. Okay. That means it got succeeded. If you go back to our end, point right. Is the refresh this URL. And go to your entitlement type. Okay, first you should see in the entitlement. Let's go here. You see, to entitlement, came here right. 1 is floor manager. One is Project Manager. Okay. And this Floor Manager. It was created under which entitlement type HR right? And Manager. So if you go to entitlement type, open this entitlement type HR. And it has an entitlement floor HR. Same like if you open Manager. You have access to Project Manager. Okay. This is like, we bring back the information from a different database right to manage this application to this entitlement. Now we should give this entitlement right. This entitlement should be given to employees so that they can access. So if you go by, open this entitlement. After opening this entitlement, click on Account. It will be 0. Okay. There is no entitlement given access. Okay. So how we did like creative account here, right? Create account. JSON, we wrote right. Create account, so that you know the account was created in a target database. Right. The same way. Also, we should provide to new user to this access. Okay. So, as we discuss, we have right. In our target database right we had to entitlement type. One was HR. One was Manager. This is entitlement type or groups. You can see under that how many entitlement we had to. And here also we have to. So 1 hour, like you know, floor HR. And here, Manager, we have Floor Manager. So these two entitlement, Floor Manager, HR, and all this information we took into our Saviynt. Right. Now in Saviynt we have an application called is Database Training. Training CF. This database training CF application right. It has two entitlement. One is Floor HR. Another one is Manager. Okay. If any new user that is coming. Let's say, today one more user got hired. Like you know the HR team, they onboarded the user. This name user. Let's say it is Kevin. Then you use your came right. If this new user we want to write as the user got onboarded through the user import right. Through the user import. The user will get onboarded to Saviynt. In Saviynt. This Kevin user got onboarded. And this, Kevin user, if you want to give access to database training CF. First, we should see you choose. Write the application name, that is database training. After that, in the next step, it will ask what access you want to give to this user. If I'll say Floor HR right, this Floor HR access will have the user in the target system. And the user will be getting onboarded through this application right. Now, as this is database, you can also check in your, Saviynt table information, but you can view this information in an exact way. Or in your target application you can read properly, when we'll integrate the Active Directory. Okay. Actually information will be seeing right. How you get view the information, but from Saviynt side, and also we can utilize it and it will show you. So we bring the user information. Oh sorry. Entitlement information to the Saviynt from the target application. So now we have two entitlement right. One is floor HR and one is project manager. So if I want to give access to any of the user, let's say there is a user, go to ARS. Right. Request access for other. And I want to choose a user. Let's say this user, right-click on the next. I'll give the application name. Database, training CF. If I add it right. Check out. So now in the access part it is asking me to use it. Choose an entitlement. OK. So it is telling available HR and available manager. No data available. No. Data available. So it's telling there is no entitlement available or this entitlement are not visible yet. Actually to get the access. So let's go back to here. Go to the entitlement type right. So I believe the request option is default by default table. It is there. It should come. But why it is not coming? Let's make a refresh it. I believe, some issue in the version itself. Drop down, or I think I have, like you know. Table. Let me open this. Config for requestable right. I'll have EB. That custom. Property 1 equal to. The best step. Custom property requestable. Let me. Require a key was stable. OK. And this is for your HR. I can go back right. Go back. Then point. This is the custom one requestable. Update it. Refresh it. If the entitlement are not visible here. Actually, let me go to A. Search me for any different application. Which are already there. If I go back to trickery. What if I have gone? Check out. Okay, these entitlement are visible, but our application environment are not visible. Why it is not visible? Open this one. It is asking for the entitlement approval workflow. That is why it is showing. Let me go to the endpoint. And sit here. We got hanged, or what? Okay, okay. Sentiment type groups. If I open it. Let me edit this group. Okay, hard workflow is there. That's why. You know it is not showing for us. Let me go back to our application. Database. So no it's, I'll come to that part. Okay, now let me explain. Entitlement type. This will be auto-approved. I'm just giving it. Okay. And this is for HR. Okay, let me. Request home. Request access for other. Shows any user. Next. Open our application. Add it. Go to checkout. Still, it is not visible. This entitlement of request to be great. If I go back. Let me open the entitlement, for no doubt. The entitlement tab. Okay. Open this entitlement. Okay, these status are not reflecting. That is why. So the status is on and because we didn't pass the status column. Click is active now. Make it active. Okay. Now, if I go back, it will say to, let's see. Okay. Now it is coming right. So there is like you have had one more column here, right? Status column. Otherwise it won't reflect they're actually asking. To add one more column. So you can add a column here. Okay. What is the status column? Okay, I'll come. I'll add it later. Okay for you. Let me go ahead and do a request so that, or let me do it now. Okay, entitlement import. Okay, edit it. And one more column. Add it. Status. Apply it. Reneist. Entitlement, import, select it. So the status. 1. And apply. Nice. So if you want to add a new right. Let me add a new. Record here. And this entitlement type again I will give HR. Okay. And what is the HR value? Let's say this will be people HR. Okay. People HR. And the entitlement ID. I give a different ID. And this should be people HR. The same glossary value I am giving here. OK. And giving some description. OK. So now, if you view the entitlement right. So this entitlement glossary. Right, what you see here. Glossary OK. It is just the same name. Entitlement glossary. Entitlement value. Will be same name. So now I have added one more entitlement, right? And I have given the value status equal to 1. So apply and update it. OK. Finish it. So let me run the job quickly. Entitlement input. Click on Action and Start. And in the connection, choose Database Training Safe and submit it. So let the job finish. So what we saw here earlier. Write the entitlement, what we bring. The status was not reflecting correctly. That way. That is why it was not requestable. You cannot request an inactive entitlement, which is not active. OK. So the job has finished. If I come back here, refresh the URL. Right under which we added HR, OK. Go to entitlement type. In HR. Now you see two entitlement. Right. Open the pupil HR. And I think again, the status is not reflecting. Let me put a query. Select. In XML. You didn't mention about status. Sorry. In XML file. You didn't mention about status. Column. Oh, okay. That is a silly mistake. Yeah. I have to pass here in XML actually. The mapping column is not there actually. So this should be mapped to right. Entitlement values.status. OK. And here I should pass the source property. Status, column OK. And save it. Provide this value in your import mapping. And this is your yeah, you should. You should pass also in the yeah. Correct. In the SQL query also, you should pass. So after the state no status, we have already passing. I don't know. That is a different one. Yeah. Yeah, here we should pass the status column. So copy this again. Status from OK and status. Now go back to your connection. And Update it. OK. So now it is updated. OK. Let me just run the job. XML started. Database, training, safe. The connection was database safe only right. It is OK. And the mapping source property status only. Let me check. What column we have taken here? Right status, but what is the right target database? Like you know, CV and entitlement value. We have to check. Keep it description. Saviynt dot. Right. And I didn't values. Around this. And see what is the status. Column name here. OK, status only. Fine. Come back to the job. One more time. OK, it is not running. Let me see what is happening here. Oh, it's telling. Success within a second. Click on it. OK, so you updated the record actually. OK. Now. If I go back, let me refresh this. OK, the status is coming active now. OK. So now we are good. So if I go back to request this application again, right? Request access for other. And now choose a new user. Click on Next. Choose your application. That was turning serious. In that, check it out. Select the access now. Right, I need the access. OK. So we got Floor HR and People Project Manager. So People Manager didn't came right. We'll see that why it didn't came. So now, simple, add this access to you right. So you have this access. Now click on Next. And here. Give some description right. Certain description and submit the request. Open view status. OK, if we come back, we have a auto group task. And there is a 2 tasks. First, it will create a new account and it will give access to the floor manager. OK. So if you look back in the top, it is still a new account request. And what is the access it is giving? Floor HR. If it's over it right. You see the description it is given here. This is the access. This access is to give in for home floor HR task. OK. Now, this is the auto approve, right, if you go back. If you come back to the task menu, click here. You see 2 tasks with The first is a new account. Another one will be add access. Okay. So let's let it process. Okay. And how are you going to process? Come back to Job Control Panel. Go back to Job Control Panel, click on Utility. Come down. Click on the provisioning job. Action and click on Start. Here. Give your connection endpoint name right. This is a security system. I'm sorry. Database, training CF. So more. New or past day, for this should process the new account. Then it should go to add access. Okay. Give it and submit it. So let's wait what will happen. Oh, waiting. Legs or finished, and we'll see what is happening. Okay, let me grab the log. Okay. And if you come back here, just refresh this tab. So go to the task. So still, these are the new right. It didn't process it actually. Why didn't process? Let me go to the pending task. Refresh it. These are the two tasks right. If you scroll down, it got error. What error we're getting? Okay, this user already present actually duplicate and pre-16 for primary key. Okay, I think we should choose a new user who doesn't have access. Actually, so if you're provisioning the user where this user is going coming right. So the table we are provisioning. It's trying to. And this is import right. Here is user import account. Create account entity to db_account. So this db_accounts. Have this record actually. That's why it is filling the 16 right. This already is already present. Let me choose another user. Okay, let's take this user only. Go to IRS, request access for the 256 is right. Choose this user. Click on Next. IP or security system or endpoint name. In cart, check it out. And add this entitlement. Click on Next. Give a justification. Submit it. Okay, either you can copy this username or you can do the status. Right, or come back to the pending task and search it here. Okay. So you saw, this group has got created. One is new account, another is add access. So let's run this job again, right? Go to utility. Provisioning, click on Action Start. Give the system name and new account, then add access. Submit it. So ideally it should fail for your add access task. Okay, it should process create account task. Only let's see how it is happening. Whether it is auto-completing or it is failing. Let's see. Okay, now grab the log. Come back to the pending task. Click on Refresh. See both. The thing got completed. But I believe. Right. Only one got created. So how you can search a complete task right? Go to Complete Task. I don't have the user. I didn't remember it. Now go to Security System. Choose your security system and search it. So these are the account completed, right? So for today date, these are the two tasks, right? So this task, what is the username 2566? Copy this username. Go to Admin. In the User tab, open the user data. I think this one. Go to Account. Database training got provisioned, okay. Right. Open this. And you see the associated entitlement. But it is an auto-complete task, okay. Because why this is auto-complete task? Because we have not mentioned any connection or any information for our access where it should create actually. Right. So that information, it is not there. So simply if you go to the access right, you see this record got inserted. But what is the relation where it should insert the this add access task? So if you go to your connection part right, scroll down. Okay, scroll up. Sorry, let's see you have a grant access, JSON, right? See this grant access JSON. It is empty, actually, totally for us. So the task which we got trigger for, add access. That was a dummy task. So it simply copy the task. Actually, it didn't do anything. Okay, we'll mention, We'll leverage another table here for a grant access. How it is written. Like they will be inserting another record. To a new table. So this grant access, JSON, if you copy. Right, go to the document and search it for grant access. So granting access to an account. So we should follow this information. Okay, what they're asking. So this is for a call procedure. Actually they're using a call procedure, okay. But we should leverage it using a table. Okay. We'll look into that right. How we gonna, proceed for a grant access JSON. That also we'll see. Now coming back to your things. So we completed the granting access to the user. And we saw one more entitlement right. It was showing us only for 2 entitlement in the request. So what about the other one? Let's see again. If I'm switching the user and opening this database, click on it. Check out. So we saw 2 entitlement right, but we had 3 entitlement. If you go to entitlement import. Okay, HR, we have 2 people HR, okay, that is so available manager, available HR. So, HR, we have only one displaying here. What about the other one? Let me go to the HR, okay. What happened? Let's see. So go to your security system. Go to your security system. Go to endpoint. Open the database training and go to entitlement type. So this HR right has 2. We are able to see floor manager right, floor HR. Not the other one, people HR right. Why it is not visible? So if you click this icon right, there is a small search icon. Click here. I have given a requestable statement. What I have written here. Okay, the entitlement whose custom property 1 is requestable. That will only visible in the request part. Okay, config for requestable entitlement in ARS. So whose entitlement value will be requestable? In custom property 1, they will be visible right. If you go back again. Go to your endpoint. Open the endpoint. Right. Go to entitlement type. Again open the HR. And open the floor HR and open the people HR. So this floor HR, if you go to other attribute I have mentioned, requestable in custom property 1. That is why it is visible. But in people HR, if I go to other attribute, there is no value. Right, that means I'm telling this people, HR shouldn't be visible to anybody. If you want visible, simple. Type requestable here and update it. Okay, now you go back here. Refresh it okay. You see, to entitlement coming. So basically, we are stopping the user to request everything. So sometime there will be request. Based on users in custom property or something like. You have to stop the user so that everybody shouldn't be able to request it, right? In an organization. If you are working as an employee of a company, you should not have access to any HR information, right? Or you cannot see them at all. That is how you can also stop it, okay? If you go back to the security system itself or the entitlement type itself. Click on again here. Right. So you can stop it right. You can mention any value over here or whose custom property value is that you can access. Stop it. Even you can stop this whole application and the endpoint level also. Okay. So in endpoint level also, you have the option. You can stop anybody to access this. See this access query. Right. So this whole application will not be visible here. How you can achieve that if I go back? Let me open any user. OK. Go to user. I'll be mentioning this last name, or let me open any of the user. Update their city to Bangalore. I will give OK for one age. Let me open another user. The 6578 OK. And I'll give city here. Let's say, I'll give Kolkata. And let me open another user. Here I'll give city as Bangalore. OK. It's simple, update it. So we have for user right. Out of them, 2 user have city as Bangalore and 2 user have city as Kolkata. So I want the application. This applicant should be requestable only OK when the user city is like Bangalore. So how you can achieve that again? Go back to the security system right. Go to your open the security system. Go back to the endpoint. Open the endpoint. OK, here in the access query. You have to write it here, right? So same way where it is written it. You should write where user. First name equal to this OK. I should write where users. City OK. Equal to. I think they're using any. OK, single code they're putting it OK. You can mention Bangalore. OK, if you have any error, it will not let you submit, OK. OK, there is no error, so it's submitted. OK, now. If I want to. User. First name. Maybe we have to mention city right. I mentioned city right. Here you have first name. I think it got changed. OK, while I do a copy-paste. OK, so user city. OK, this is fine. So this, users, it is an object of your user. You know table and city is the city column. So now, if you update it, OK, I think copy-pasting while doing that made a problem there. Now it is updated right. OK, so now, if you go back and do a request phrase, request right. Let me go to this menu. Go to homepage. Request access for other. I will first choose any of the user. And you see. You don't see our applications, right? It is not visible for you. So same way if I go to this user right. Which city is Bangalore right? This user. Copy this user. And request access for other. Search it OK. And submit this user. OK, you see this application now right? It is visible for you to request. Okay, if I give another user whose city is Kolkata, right? If you copy this user, go back to again request home. Request access for other. And give a statement like this. Submit the request for this user. See our database. See if it's not visible. Okay, so this is how also you can stop the user from being request. So we are leveraging city, but in the actual scenario, how they will reveal is okay. For employee, normal employee, your job is to request job code will be different for HR. Your job code will be different. So in the real time, you have to stop the user based on the job code description. This is our code description, for it will be some 1004 and for HR it will be different one. So that is how you know you should stop them for being requested. If you able to request the application and, by mistake, your manager approve it. That make a biggest problem, right? It's a huge loss to the company and they say, against HR policy or SOX compliance policy. That is why we have the access query in the place. You can utilize that, okay. And you can also leverage the query. To submit it, for multiple city. Like. You can write the condition user city equal to like Kolkata or user city like that, so you can place two conditionals there also, okay. So this is how you should stop the user from being able to request right. And coming back to that, we'll also see how we can automate the provisioning process. So that means, if I upload some user or any new user gets hired, I shouldn't make them access this application. It's always right. It should be auto access. It should give that is called birthright access. So in the next class we'll leverage this KVN user when they are getting onboarded to Saviynt. They should get automatic access to this application. Okay. And after that I will help you know. I'll show you. Instead of Active Directory, let's open the REST base application first. Okay, so that at least you should have some new idea, because if I give a gap between your application, you will forget again actually what this concept. So I'm just planning in the next class we'll integrate this service now. Application that is a REST base. Okay, and this REST base application. It is much more important for every application or for saving. That is little complex. But I believe you'll enjoy the application. There's a lot of good thing is there, We can leverage it to understand it. Okay. And I will leverage in the next class how you can implement the technical rule right and user a bit. So this technical rule, it will help you to automate this process, but in the provisioning process and with that we'll look how this user update rule also work. Because in the real time you will be dealing with a lot of user update rule. Every day, you have to use, at least 15 to 20 times for this user update rule. Okay, this is most important thing. Any question here? So the thesis in any person here. This topic is little confusing. This topic in the sense you're talking about entitlement access. Yes. So what is making you confused or you were not able to understand? What is the entitlement? No, in lab session. You are giving access right? Yes. So from that point it's little confusing. You're going little fast at that point. Okay, you want me to go slow by slow, showing you how we can give the entitlement access. Okay. Okay, so then that is fine. So that is why I told you right, you can stop me any moment if you feel I'm little fast. Okay. That's not a problem. Let me show you again how we can, do the lab access for the entitlement import. So, as we discuss here, we should have a entitlement. So in your target application we have to entitlement right. To entitlement. Basically, one is your HR. One is your manager. So under HR we have to entitlement. One is floor HR on his. And in manager we have one entitlement only, that is floor manager. Okay. So all this entitlement, it is residing for us in another table. That table, we have called it as entitlement_import. Okay. So these table continue on the 3 entitlement. So now what we'll do? We'll again add some more entitlement and we'll see how this entitlement are getting onboarded to you. So here we are doing target reconciliation. Exactly, that is a target reconciliation. So earlier we did target reconciliation for account. Now we are doing it, target reconciliation for your access or for entitlement. Okay. So target entitlement, target request, lesson involved your account. Plus entitlement. As we discussed, account only. It will give you access to your application. That means you are authorized to access the application. But once you access to our application, what performance you want to do, what operation you want to do, that will be decided by your entitlement. Right. So if you remember in your corporate or your normal life, if you log into your SBI application, let's say right. If somebody has a State Bank of India application, if you log into that, there will be 2 options, you see. Right. One is you for like corporate login, one will be for normal login. So we always choose for the normal login. Right. Once you do the normal login, right inside, that you see, you have option to transfer money. And you have option to add beneficiary. If you remember, while you open a new SBI account, for some initial days you can do the transfer of money, only you cannot add any beneficiary for at least for 24 hours. Why? Because you have not given any specialized access immediately. It will added you after some time for initial day. I don't know what is the scenario now. But when I opened the account before 10 years back, it was a moment for me. I was able to transfer money itself. I was not able to add a new beneficiary because it required another profile password. Okay. So that means, you have 2 privilege here, 1 privilege. 2 for sending the money. Another privilege for adding a beneficiary. So you have to assume, like if you are able to transfer the money, that means your account has an entitlement to do it. But not to do this one. That is why you record another entitlement to add a beneficiary. Okay. The same way we are leveraging here. Right, if you want to perform any action, we should have an entitlement first. So I am going to add a. So right or like, we have already created a table where we are posting all the entitlement value. So this entitlement, I will be adding a new entitlement. Let's say I'm adding an entitlement here. I'm giving the application name. I'm giving the entitlement name. What is the entitlement type? This entitlement type we discuss is nothing. A group right. So I'm giving a group as manager. So again, what is the subgroup? We should have a floor manager. Or if you go for a company, they should have something like admin manager, who is to manage the cafeteria. So those information you can give okay. I'm giving the ID that is a unique character for this particular, manager. Right, so let's say 7899. And what is the glossary or the other name for this? I'll give the same. If let's say, and I'll type a comment here. This access is given to floor manager 1. And I'll give the status, was born. Apply it. Okay. Now we have the entitlement ready, okay. So once your entitlement is ready, we need to bring those entitlement to our Saviynt right. So we created a new entitlement here, one more, and this entitlement we are now bringing. From your target application to your Saviynt OK. How we are going to bring the same concept. We have our HR application. We have our Saviynt right in between. We are preparing a connection. OK. And in the connection we have a part here called entitlement. Value import. Basically this entitlement value import right. It will have a JSON format, where we will be mentioning from which section of the information we are bringing back or bringing, and to hosting it to Saviynt. So those information will be mentioning here. So if you go back to your connection, right? In the connection, scroll down or you can click on the admin menu. Click on this 3 dot. Go to Identity Repository. Go to your connection. In the connection, open your connection. So our connection name is Database Trainings. Here open it. And as we discuss, we will be passing for entitlement import. In entitlement value, import, OK, for that we are preparing a JSON and where we can find the JSON if you go to your document right. You have to open the document and type entitlement. Entitlement. Value. Import OK. And you have to scroll down. OK, here. For the full import, you have the mapping column here. Whatever mapping column is required, right? So again, it has given the same format, right? What format it has given? In the right side. Source property. You have to mention where you are getting the data. So I am getting the data from the entitlement import table. Okay, and what is our column name? Application name and point name. Entitlement type, entitlement value. Entitlement ID. Clause 3, description and status, OK. So these information we are mentioning in the source property. Account name, source property security system we are mentioning here in the source property. And what is your saving property? Because we are bringing back the information to save, and so we should mention also the savings property. So what is the saving property name? It is telling name. But where is this name is coming from? Account. Underscore name account. Name. So that means, if you want to bring entitlement, you should also mention the OK. I am looking at the account import OK. You should look into entitlement. Sorry. Yeah. So this is your source property, right? The source property, all your source table information. It is mentioned like your application name, endpoint, entitlement type, entitlement ID, glossary. Description and status. So these information right. These all your column name. We are mentioning our target table where this data are coming here. Okay, all this column name and where this value should go. This value should be seen to save in table or save in our saving itself. So that is why I'm telling what is the application name we are integrating. Our application name is Database Training Safe. Okay, and that is. It will get hold by your security system. Okay, and it is sending to your security system table directly. Because you know this system name. It is coming from your security system. So the security system, we have the table we discuss, right, the security system table. It will hold all your security system name. If you go back to your security system table, if I show you security system, select it. You will see all your security system will be mentioned, OK. So this is, like you know, system key OK. And if you go, right, OK. See all your display name here. JDBC Active Directory. Amigo Pod OK JDBC app. Okay, so what is your security system? We created database training, safe, right? You see this database training safe, okay? So it is matching the security system name against your security system table. And same way. Right, it is matching your endpoint name, so endpoint is coming from an endpoint table. Okay, we have a different table for the end-to-end point. If you scroll down, so scroll above in your Saviynt database. You have the endpoint here. Endpoint, select the endpoint table. OK, and this is your endpoint key. If you go a little forward you can see your endpoint name also will be mentioning here. OK. So you see the endpoint name here, right? Display name. So here you have your database training safe. OK. So this database training safe. We saw that endpoint name right the same way. They are passing the entitlement value also. Right, it is coming from entitlement type. And this value like entitlement value. Entitlement ID. These all should go to your entitlement values table. OK. So, after preparing this XML file, what you can do? You can put it under your entitlement value input, right? Once you paste the value here, right? Just click the Save and Test connection. And once your connection is successful, right? We have to do it, run the job. So the job as we discussed, right, it will bring all your endpoint or entitlement details from here to here. So you have seen right for user input also, you are leveraging a different job, right? For your provisioning. Also, we are leveraging a different job. Also for your account, target reconciliation also. We are leveraging a different job the same way we are leveraging another job, that is, for your. This job is there, right? So if you scroll down, go to your utility. OK, here you see. I think database OK, go to the database and entitlement input from database. OK, this job, you see, just run the job. OK. So once you run the job again to bring back your right to bring back your entitlement. Also, you have to mention your connection information. So simple mention database training share. And submit it. OK. So once you submit it, let me see what happened. Go back. OK. So this is your last run, right? 949. Open it. So it's still OK. Total entitlement updated, 4. How much we have? The entire one table. 1234. So let me see, go to your endpoint. Or security system. Open your security system. Go to endpoint. Open the endpoint. Go to the entitlement type. OK. So last we added from manager, OK for this manager. Open the manager. And we got what? Floor manager, okay. This floor manager came here. Open this floor manager. Right. And you see the status is active. Okay. Now if you want to request for this floor manager entitlement. Okay, you have to just go ahead and submit the request. Because for floor manager that is coming for the manager group. We do not have any access, query, or configure requestable. If it is there, then you have to mention like this, see, this is empty for us. Okay, so that all the entitlement will be accessible. So you can simply come back here, request home. Request access for the. And choose any of the user OK. Click on Next. And. Okay, so I think the same table we are leveraging so that this user already have access to this one, so it will throw error for us. We have to choose another user. Let me give us a 100. And scroll down. Choose another user. And click on Next. And here. Search our application. Okay, so our application is not visible now, right? Can you tell me why it is not visible? Any idea why your application is not visible? Because we explicitly mention. Which city is Bangalore? Those user only can view our application, right? So if you want to access any of them, let me pick an active user, okay. Open this user. And update the city to Bangalore. Okay. Then only. You can access the application, so simple, update the city, update it. Copy the user. Request access for other now. Open the user. This is right. Go to Next. Now I think you can see your application, okay. Add to cart. Okay, and after that click on Checkout. Now you see all the entitlement. So simple. You have to choose your entitlement. Add it. And this entitlement, so you can add it okay to entitlement I added. Click on Next. Okay, write some comments here okay. And here are some comments and submit it. Now how many requests will be generated? 3 requests will be totally generate. Okay. 1 is for your new account. Copy this username. Go to task. Pending task. Search the user. Okay, total 3 tasks. 1 is for new account and another is for add access. Okay. This add access. It is getting auto-completed because we do not have any grant access. This one. So once we wrote it, okay, it should go to a proper table information okay. Because each user has access to what request. That also should get captured. Okay, and it should be stored in a different table. So now, if you try to perform this action right, let me go to the Job Control panel. Open the Job Control panel. Go to Utility. Simple click on the providing job, click on Action and Start. so submit it. Too much noise. So the job is finished. Let me copy the user first. Okay, what is the username and refresh this URL? Okay. You see, all are completed now. But your user is auto-completed. Okay, not, it is actual completing. If you go to account right. This account got created, okay. And you open his account. Whatever entitlement, we process it now. Okay. So you can find it under your associated environment. Okay, you see this one even you can read. View it in the entitlement hierarchy. Click here. See in the hierarchy. You can also see here. It is giving you only the entitlement information for you. And it is giving entitlement type here. But in the hierarchy you can view in a proper format. See. So manager has the floor manager and HR has the floor HR. Okay, so this is your access, okay.